Hey everybody, what's up? Now in this session, let us, as you can see, we have the past paper of March 2000, March June 2020, December past paper, and in this video we will look at the scenario one. Right? You see, we will have three exhibits in it: acquisition of um, Peru company net assets at 1st July 2005. Third one is Columbia Company pension scheme. Right? Straight up. What I will do, I will put the requirements and we will look at these requirements. So, firstly, what it's saying, draft an explanatory note to a director of Columbia Company to address the following issues. Whether Columbia Company should be considered the acquirer in business combination with Carol Company is the first requirement, and it will give us 9 marks. So, 9 marks means we have to complete this requirement and maximum of 1.5 minutes per mark. So 1.5 multiplied by 9. 14, 1.5 into 9. 13.5. 13.5 means try to do it in 30 minutes. So let me change my fonts first. Let's change it. Let's say, yeah, it is. Now move to the exhibit on here. It is wallet 2005. Brazil company and Colombia company acquired 50% of the 5 million ordinary dollar one shares of Peru company that they considered also one company share again. When the market price of Colombia company shares was 10 each. Brazil company also paid $8 per share for their interest, but they did not issue any shares to the original shareholders of Peru company. The ordinary shares of Peru company have one voting right each. Okay. Following the acquisition of Columbia Company had the contractual right to appoint 60% of the board of Peru Company, with the remaining 40% appointed by a Brazil Company. Brazil Company has veto rights over any amendments to the articles of incorporation and also over the appointment of auditors. Okay, there's another in their Brazil Company and Colombia Company each appoint one member to the Peru Company. That's a draw between the two companies. Management team. It is the senior management appointed by Columbia Company who makes the key decision regarding the development of Peru Company new technologies. Okay. So one more point for the Columbia Company in how its principal revenue stream, the market and it will operate in an audit is managed the senior manager appointed. The Columbia Company also provides a supervisory role. Okay. And has the right to request that significant activities get board approval, such as imposing restriction of their company from undertaking activities and would significantly increase credit risk. Okay. So what we'll do, you can see question number 1A1. Right. So what we'll say, an acquirer is the entity which has assumed. Firstly, we will look at state the relevant standard. So, right, just a second. So, what we'll say, an acquirer is the entity which has assumed control over another entity in accordance with IFRS 10. IFRS 10, an investor controls an investee investor controls an investee where it has power over the investee exposure or rights to variable returns exposure or rights to variable returns from its involvement with the investee, the ability to use its power over the investee to affect the amount of investors' returns. Okay, there are significant number of factors to consider when determining which entity should be treated as acquirer. Okay. The first factor to consider is the consideration transferred for the relative share of ownership. It may look at first that Colombia company and Brazil company have undertaken a joint venture where the two parties share control over the investee. Right, so far two marks. Then now, but this is because Colombia company and Brazil company have paid an equal amount of $8 per share. Additionally, Colombia company and Brazil company have each obtained 50% of equity interest and have equal voting rights of 1 vote per share. Both entities satisfy the criteria for rights to variable return. However, joint venture relies upon there being joint control over all the key operating and financing decision of the entity. The scenario does not indicate that unanimous consent is required because decision making responsibilities appear to be split between Brazil. See, So far, as you can see, it's all scenario leading me. I'm just took out the points in front of you. Here, I just discussed the standard, and then it's all about I'm connecting the standards knowledge to the scenario, and it's I easily got 4 months still here, 5 months to get. So now what I'll say, a second factor to consider is who has the rights. The majority of the governing body. Columbia Company can appoint 60% of the vote, suggesting they may be the acquirer. 60% of the vote suggest acquirer. But it is true that Brazil company have additional rights, in terms of the power to veto amendments to the articles of incorporation and the appointment of others in the assessment of control. In the assessment of control, it is important to consider whether these rights have Brazil company power over the investee and whether it can use this power to affect their return. Affect their return. Further, what we will say, in this assessment, it is important to differentiate between substantive rights and protective rights. Only rights which are substances are said to give the investor controls. Only rights which are said to be substantive, which are said to be the substantive substantive said to give the investor control. Okay, so what you would say, these rights are more likely to be considered. Protective sense. They appear to be prohibited. They appear to be prohibited changes in activities of the industry which Brazil company does not agree with, rather than give Brazil company power. Right. Similar argument can be applied to the appointment of the board of directors, sorry, appointment of the senior managers. The, the entity which has the right to appoint the majority of the senior management appointed by the Brazil company appear to be protective while all key decisions are made by the senior management. Of Columbia company. The right of the senior manager by the Columbia company seems to be substantive, including vote approval activities. Now, lastly, what I will say, further evidence that Columbia company is the acquirer is referred to which Columbia company paid as additional uh, consideration to obtain control. That the acquirer has to pay a premium on acquisition for their equity interest. Columbia company has in fact had to pay additional consideration equal to $1.25 million. That is how we get it 50% into $5 million into 1:20 into $10, right? Despite each investor acquiring 50% of the equity shares, it can be concluded that Columbia is the acquirer in a business combination. In effect, is the non-controlling. That's it for this part of the question. That it's I just used the IF IFRS relevant knowledge, and then it's all scenario, like discussion on the scenario. I just applied the scenario, standard scenario, and that's it. That's it. See you in the next video with the next part of the question.